Wait, I found one that's racist. Chocolate toast crunch. Look at that. Isn't that a little black man? This is how ludicrous it is. This is the beginning of socialism at its peak. Okay, I said it. It has to be said. We're not holding back on this channel. Good day, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of Clem's Corner. I want to thank all of my viewers and also subscribers. I ask you, if you haven't subscribed, to sort of hit the subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the more money we make, although we're not making any money because we need a lot of subscribers for that. So maybe pass this on and get some subscribers. But you can see we have a big overhead here in our production studio. Today we're going to discuss a few topics, and we're going to do it as rapidly as we can. The first topic we're going to cover is Aunt Jemima. I grew up on Aunt Jemima pancakes. I'm going to go with Bisquick. I never looked at the Aunt Jemima woman pictured in the packaging even as a black person. I looked at her as a person, a nice warm feeling, a cook, a woman cooking nice meals for her family in the morning. What the company has now done to try to remove her from the cover of their packaging is disgraceful. It has nothing to do with race. As we said in previous episodes, what's happening is that people are creating racism themselves. That has been the packaging for decades. All of a sudden now it becomes racist. They're going to remove Uncle Ben. What does any of this have to do with race? It's the company saying because they want to curtail racial stereotyping. It's a warm feeling. In fact, a true racist wants her removed. And that's what they're doing. They're removing her and playing into true racism. It's normal to praise athletes, to have your accomplished Olympians on the cover of cereal boxes. We praise them. Now all of a sudden, that becomes not good. Now we can't have people on covers of cereal. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up having a sterile society in everything we do. Oh, Pops, whoa, look at the cereal. That's great. Nothing there, nothing of substance there. Wait, I found one that's racist. Chocolate toast crunch. Look at that. Isn't that a little black man? This is how ludicrous it is. I'm being facetious. I'm being crazy like everybody else. Remove this. This has to be removed. Better yet, I found this. Planters peanuts. This looks like it's racism towards whites. This has to be taken off. We just need peanuts there. That's how crazy this world has come. This is how nuts the far left and people who wanted to put their own interpretation into things and create divisiveness, that's what we have. Kids should be looking at Aunt Jemima and saying, oh, what a nice looking woman, what a nice cook she is, what a nice mother she is. Not sterilize it anymore. All of a sudden, Juneteenth, it becomes a holiday. I believe it's over 150 years ago. All of a sudden, we're coming up with Juneteenth is going to be a holiday for people. Okay? Folks, we went through a civil rights movement in this country. We went through this already. We already have been down this road. Why are we doing this again to our nation? It's the media. All they do is pump people up because they have nothing else to do with their time. They should be doing some research. Maybe they should go to school and learn how to read or write because they're not doing it. The lack of true investigative reporting is over with. It's a gotcha. They try to interview Trump during their news conferences. Gotcha, we got you. Over what? Nothing? Let's go to the second topic that is very disconcerting to me and to a number of people that I talk to. And I think it's the silent majority that needs to start getting activated. The charge against the Atlanta cop for murder, possible death penalty. It is ludicrous. We already covered this and what this cop did in the last video. Murder is an intentional killing. The district attorney down there has obviously no clue what he's talking about because he's not watching the same videos as I've watched. He said Brooks was not running from the cop. Where was he running to? Who was he running from? He He knew he was running from a cop because he turned around and fires the taser at him. The cop was defending himself against the use of deadly physical force or force capable of causing serious physical injury. In fact, from what I read today, the district attorney down there a couple of weeks ago characterized the taser as a weapon when he disciplined or called for the discipline of the police officers who tased some college students. At that, then it was a weapon. Now all of a sudden, to fit into his mold, to try to get this cop charged and convicted of murder, tries to change the concept of what he already said. It's a weapon. The cop has the absolute right to defend himself against a weapon being used against him. It's a sad day. What should happen is, once the cops all in this country should take off one day from work. One day from work, they should all come out. And then let's see what happens with crime. Let's see what happens in crime in Philadelphia, where they're going to take 30% of the budget, or 30 million, I forgot the figure now, from the police budget, and put it to education. That's fine. Okay, I am all for cutting government budgets. Can we cut 10%? Maybe we can. But that has nothing to do with racism. That's just cutting fat from government, which we should do. Just going to continue a little bit with this Atlanta cop. That cop went to work that morning. He had no intention of killing somebody. He tried to make an arrest, and that's dangerous for cops, especially with somebody who was acting like that person acted towards those police officers. I feel terrible that cop has to turn himself in now with a charge of murder. Murder. An intentional killing? Death penalty? Because he was doing his job? It was stated by a legal commentator, that perhaps a district attorney charged murder, hoping to go to trial and have a compromised verdict by a jury. That is disgraceful if that is true. A prosecutor should not overcharge so that there's a compromise later for a jury to engage in. That's not right. A prosecutor should charge the appropriate charge for the crime that somebody committed. It's not a game. When district attorney, which apparently this district attorney in Atlanta is doing, he's playing a game, and I believe that he's black. And I hope that he is not playing the race card and charging a white officer because he's a black district attorney. Okay, I said it, it has to be said. We're not holding back on this channel anymore. Let's go to Seattle. Let's go clear across the country, and let's go to the West Coast, beautiful West Coast. Let's go to Seattle. Folks, the headlines across the country are that the local government there reached a deal with the CHOP members. They're shrinking the area, I believe, from 6 blocks down to 2 or 3. Putting up concrete barriers so people can walk. Maybe store owners, innocent store owners, can start opening. But they cut it back a third. I'm going to end with this on this topic. Your house is burglarized. You come home, you see that it's burglarized, you call the police. You run out of the house, you call the police. The police come. They go in with their guns, and 15 minutes later they come out, and you're standing there on the street. Folks, we have very good news for you, okay? Yes, your house was burglarized, and the people are inside it. But we negotiated with them, okay? They've agreed to only take over 2 of your bedrooms. Yay, that's great, okay? It's exactly what's happening in Seattle. There's no other way to explain it. A deal with thugs. People, please, watch the news clips. These are thugs. These are people who don't even know what they're fighting for. They seem to be illiterate, uneducated, and we're giving them attention. They're taking over our property. Bad, very bad. That has to end. It cannot be tolerated anywhere and never should be. Not by this government. Peaceful protest, fine. Anarchy is not. A voice can be heard. Speak. Have dialogue back and forth. Defund the police. I read it on a tagline the other day. Defunding the police, we're not calling for the abolition of police. We just want to take money away from them. Well, keep taking money away from them. We're not going to have any cops left. We're not going to have any police departments to do their job. And God forbid we have a terrorism act in this country. We'll switch again. Then we'll go back to hiring more cops to fight. We don't have our act together at all. Let's go to the fourth topic that I want to talk about quickly is the quarantining and the infringement by government of our liberties. It has gotten bad. Quarantine, if you remember, was sold to the American public as a way of flattening the curve. Okay? The hospitals are going to be overwhelmed, folks. We don't have enough ventilators. We don't have enough hospital beds for what we're anticipating in the coronavirus. Remember this? People were saying this early on. We need to flatten the curve. Okay, you have to stay home. It's an emergency. This is a government emergency. This is a health emergency, which, by the way, the government can declare at any time, okay? They can say fat people are a health emergency. We're going to start limiting the amount of food that people can eat. Okay, anything could be a health emergency. In fact, why don't we address the 38,000, almost 39,000 people that were killed in car accidents last year? Why don't we address that at the same sense of urgency? If anything, that's a national and persistent health emergency that no one has done anything about. People can't drive. They're driving on the wrong side of the road. They don't signal. They speed. Why don't we do something about saving deaths on the road with the same urgency that we have done with Corona? There's an article today in the Gateway Pundit. They're quoting a former university professor, I believe Dr. Richard Cross. And Cross did a study and comes out with a statement that indicates that when looking at the mortality rates for all causes this flu season, things aren't much worse than a bad flu. Why is that? Because government has no control over their counting. They're counting corona. If somebody dies in a car accident and they have corona, that's corona related. I'm not interested, nor are you, in corona related deaths. We want to know who died of corona so we have an accurate representation. I don't hear any government officials trying to get those stats accurate. You have people like Cuomo. I'm not quoting him because I live in New York, but this is true of many governors throughout this country. Talk about infringing on our rights without, by the way, in my opinion, without constitutional basis. And he continues to do it. The reason I come back to that was to keep the curve flattening. We're not concerned about that anymore. So now what is the excuse for him telling us what we can do, what we can't do, where we can go, what we can't go? Who elected him to be our mother? Who is he to come out and say, after this past weekend, because people weren't wearing masks, etc., in public down in New York, he comes out and says, and I believe this is a direct quote, I could be wrong, but it's in substance. He says, "Don't let me come down there." Who the hell is Cuomo to threaten us like he's our mother or father? Who is Cuomo to tell us that, you're going to be able to play Little League, but only two spectators can go and watch the child play? Wait, what is this, ridiculous? What is the scientific basis for that? It's nuts. It's nuts. They don't understand that what they're doing is a total walkover. This is the beginning of socialism at its peak. They can keep declaring health emergencies, as I said, for virtually anything. Okay? They keep doing that. We're not going to have any rights left. We have very little rights left now. From the moment that we wake up in the morning, looking at our alarm clock, the government, look at the back, it says FCC approved. Take a shower. Limit on the amount of water that can come out. Limit on the type of bulbs we can buy. I'm only beginning. This is the first 5 minutes of waking up. The sheet you're lying in, government controlled. Keep it up, because we don't need to think ourselves anymore, do we? We have people thinking for us. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully we'll get some more in. Hopefully maybe we'll do some nice topics and discuss some fun things next time. Or at least one or two. We can find them. Okay. Have your cereal, folks. Enjoy.